Call of the Haunted. Card type Trap. Property Continuous. Activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. Card trivia: Call of the Haunted. This card appears in the artworks of Downburst, Trap Sluicer, and the anime artwork of Destruction of Destiny. This card is a skill card counterpart, Call of the Haunted. The words written on the graves are Greek, and as they're depicted in the card's OCG and TCG artwork. And the first word is obviously Konami, while the second word has no actual meaning in Greek. Using a standard English keyboard with the Greek language selected, typing Konami selected in the first Greek word written on the graves, while typing Hanako results in the second word written in Greek on the graves. Hanako is a Japanese female name. It might be related to Hanako-san, a Japanese urban legend about the spirit of a young World War II-era girl who haunts school bathrooms. In the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga and anime, this card's effect allowed the player to special summon any monsters destroyed by the opponent from the graveyard and changed them into zombie-type monsters, as well as the ability to constantly revive them should they be destroyed by battle. In the OCG and TCG, this card's special summoning would be limited to one monster and does not feature the type changing or constant reviving effect. Card appearances: Call of the Haunted. Yu-Gi-Oh! In episode 17, Bones uses this card during his duel against Joey Wheeler. He uses this card to revive Zenki, Crawling Dragon, and Crass Clown, and as Armored Zombie, Dragon Zombie, and Clown Zombie, respectively. In the next episode, Garuzis attacks and destroys Clown Zombie, but this card's effect revives it and makes it even stronger. Bones explains that this card's effect will revive any monster revived through its effect and make it even stronger than before. Eventually, Joey exploited a weak point with the zombies by activating Shield and Sword, which swapped the attack and defense of the zombies and left them with 0 attack. This card remained on the field until the duel was over. In episode 56, this card is shown on Seeker's laptop when he was researching the Battle City participants and trying to figure out who should he duel first. This card is shown to be Bones' rarest card. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. During this series and 5Ds, this card was depicted as a trap card with its TCG and OCG effects. Season 1. In Episode 2, Chaz Princeton uses this card during his duel against Jaden Yuki. He uses this card to tribute special summon Chthonian Soldier from the graveyard. After Chaz tributes Chthonian Soldier in order to tribute summon Mayfist, the Infernal General, this card is destroyed. In Episode 4, Chaz uses this card during his duel against Jaden. He uses this card to special summon Y Dragon Head from the graveyard. After Chaz banishes Y Dragon Head, X Head Cannon, and Z Metal Tank from the field in order to special summon XYZ Dragon Cannon, this card was destroyed. In Episode 11, this card was mentioned in a flashback Cyrus Truesdale had when Jaden told him he enjoys himself when he duels and he treats all his cards with care. Cyrus used this card to revive the monster that Jaden destroyed via Trap Hole. In Episode 12, Chaz uses this card during his duel against Bastian Misawa. He uses this card to special summon his Chthonian Soldier from the graveyard. He then activates Inferno Reckless Summon to special summon 2 more copies of Chthonian Soldier, while Bastian uses the effect of Inferno Reckless Summon to special summon his 3rd Hydrageddon. After 1, Hydrageddon attacks and destroys the Chthonian Soldier that was revived through this card's effect. This card is destroyed. In Episode 14, Jinzo uses this card during his duel against Jaden. He activates this card to revive himself from the graveyard, but Jaden activates Solemn Judgment to negate this card's effect and destroy it. In Episode 24, Zar uses this card during his duel against Chaz. He uses this card to special summon Zoa from the graveyard. After Chaz activates Chaos End to destroy Zoa and Metal Zoa, this card was destroyed. In Episode 25, Chaz uses this card during his duel against Jaden. He uses this card to special summon his Armed Dragon level 5 from the graveyard. After Chaz sends Armed Dragon level 5 to the graveyard in order to special summon Armed Dragon level 7 via the final effect of Armed Dragon level 5, this card was destroyed. In episode 29, Night Shroud uses this card during his duel against Jaden. He uses this card to special summon Troop Dragon from the graveyard. After Night Shroud tributes his 2 Troop Dragons in order to tribute summon Red Eye's Black Dragon, this card was destroyed. In episode 31, this card is seen when Zane Truesdale is rebuilding his deck after being warned of Camela's presence on the island by Chancellor Shepard. In episode 32, Zane sets this card during his duel against Camula. He could have activated to special summon Cyber Barrier Dragon and used its effects to negate the attack made by Cyberhand's Dragon, who Camula special summoned to her side of the field via Illusion Gate, but he chose not to activate it as he wanted to make sure Cyrus Truesdale's soul would be spared. Because of that, Zane lost the duel. Season 2, in episode 54, Reginald Van Howell III uses this card during his duel against Chaz. He uses this card to special summon Warrior Lady of the Wasteland from his graveyard. After Reggie tributes Warrior Lady of the Wasteland, who was equipped with Great Sword in order to tribute summon Guilford the Legend, as Great Sword made Warrior Lady of the Wasteland count as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a warrior-type monster, this card is destroyed. In episode 65, Zane uses this card during his duel against Mad Dog. He uses this card to special summon Proto-Cyber Dragon from the graveyard. After Zane activates Overload Fusion to banish this card, Cyberbarian Dragon, Cyber Laser Dragon, Cyber Kirin, Cyber Phoenix, and Cyberend Dragon from his field and graveyard in order to fusion summon Kamayoteric Overdragon, this card is destroyed. In episode 89, Zane uses this card during his duel against Night Shroud. He uses this card to special summon Cyberdark Edge from the graveyard, and Zane activates Polymerization to fuse Cyberdark Edge with Cyberdark Heal and Cyberdark Horn in order to fusion Cyberdark Dragon. This card was destroyed. In episode 94, Alexis Rhodes uses this card during her duel against Jaden. She uses this card to special summon Snow Fairy from her graveyard. After Elemental Hero Neos destroys Snow Fairy in battle, this card is destroyed. In episode 99, Prince Ojin uses this card during his duel against Jaden. He uses this card to special summon Satellite Cannon from his graveyard after Ojin activates Trap Booster. To activate this card from his hand after Jaden's Elemental Hero Shining Flare Wingman attacks and destroys the Satellite Cannon. Revived by this card's effect, this card is destroyed. Season 3. In episode 110, Jim Crocodile Cook sets this card during his duel against Tyranno Hasselberry. But he doesn't activate it as Hasselberry during his next end phase activates Volcanic Eruption to destroy all cards on the field. In episode 112, Chaz picks this card, Ojama Yellow, Ojama Green, and Ojama Black from the top of his deck via the effect of Enchanting Fitting Room during his duel against Adrian Gecko. Since this card wasn't a level 3 or below normal monster, it is returned to Chaz's deck. In episode 115, this card can be seen in the scatter remains of Tom's deck when Jesse Anderson explains to Jaden through a flashback that one thing he is fighting for is helping Tom find his missing Jerry Beans Man card. In episode 116, this card is shown in a flashback Trapper has when he explains to Jesse that back when he had an interest in Jesse, because they both could see dual monster spirits. In episode 123, Jaden uses this card during his duel against Fonda Fontaine while the latter was a dual ghoul. He uses this card to special summon Elemental Hero Bladage from its graveyard. After Jaden activates Instant Fusion to fuse Bladage with Elemental Hero Wildheart and fusion summon Elemental Hero Wild Edge, this card is destroyed. Season 4, in episode 163, Makoto Inaotsume uses this card during his duel against Zane. When Infernal Dragon attacks directly, Makoto activates this card to special summon Dralago from his graveyard. A replay then occurs and Zane uses Infernal Dragon to attack and destroy Dralago. Since Dralago was destroyed, this card is destroyed too. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, in episode 10, Yusei Fudo uses this card during his ground duel against Mr. Armstrong. He uses this card to revive the Kickman. Yusei then activates the effect of the Kickman to take Axe of Despair from his graveyard and equip it to the Kickman. After Iron Chain Dragon attacks and destroys the Kickman, this card is destroyed. This card is also shown when the effect of Blasting the Ruins activates. In episode 27, Grady uses this card during his ground duel against Yusei while the former was a Shadow Drone. He uses this card to revive Blizzard Lizard. After Grady tributes 2 Blizzard Lizards in order to tribute summon Dark Tuner Katastrog, this card was destroyed. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. In episode 21, this card appeared as a part of the duel puzzle that the Litterbots were using to break into a store. This card is also shown when Lilybot spits out cards that are of a deck and places them in her D-pad. In episode 26, this card appears on Striker Crosset Soccer Ball made of Duel Monsters cards. In episode 27, this card appears on Striker Crosset Soccer Ball. Video games: Jaden Yuki, Cyrus Truesdale, Chumley Huffington, Alexis Rose, Chaz Princeton, Bastian Misawa, Zane Truesdale, Valen Crowler, Atticus Rhodes, Camula, Donzalu, Gabidos, Titan, Amniel, Jasmine, Mindy, Blair Flanagan, Paradox, Dark Magician Girl, Jinzo, Sadie, Slade Princeton, Jagger Princeton, The Gambler, Yasmin, Night Shroud, Wade, George, Hose, Dean, Leoside, Bonji, Nathan, Joshua, Shannon, Yan, Fatty, Craig, Pippin, Swin, Deloge, Viga, Rune, Marcel, Matthew, Simon, Rock, Dante, Truly, Brown, Sadina, Woody, Hyde, Anka, Ree, Maki, Celia, Disa, Masha, Jules, Andrea, Lily, Inoso, Emperor, Umiuma, Mokuma, Senjome, and Cyrenos use this card in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Tag Force. Underworld Guardian Moly uses this card in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's World Championship 2009 Stardust Accelerator. Figaro and Nelson used this in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's World Championship 2011 over the Nexus